Thank you. Dr. Hayworth is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am privileged to be a freshman on this committee, and I note that Tom Reed and Renee Elmers and I all came to the Congress in the context of the most dramatic, transformative election in the House of Representatives in decades. And certainly in my own Hudson Valley of New York, when I had the privilege of running for office and prevailing in that particular election, I pledged to the people whom I'm now privileged to serve, that I would bring the federal government to the right size, to make it more efficient and more effective. There was an overwhelming sentiment in our district and across the country that the federal government takes too much from the American people. We are here together, talented and dedicated men and women, all with great hearts and great minds for this task, and we are at the nexus of philosophy and practice. We are certainly entitled to our own opinions. We hold them strongly and passionately. We cannot have our own version of the facts. So I look forward to considering with you all the reasons, arguments for or against ways in which we can approach this challenge. And fundamentally, what we have is a great nation, a magnificent nation, the most remarkable in history for the opportunity and the promise that it has offered humanity. My own mother among them. My mother grew up in England and immigrated here. I'm a first-generation American. We have, over the course of decades, taken on obligations that have become, for reasons of demographics, scientific advancement, and a variety of other circumstances, have become enormously costly. And we have a responsibility to carry those out. As a physician, and I practiced for 16 years, 20 years in the academic setting and in private practice, I'm acutely aware of how important, particularly with parents who are senior citizens, of how important it is for our patients and doctors to have a Medicare system that works for them, and it does have repercussions, no question, for the rest of our health care. Certainly I was elected with the strong thought in mind that we need a long-term approach to our health care that makes sense. But we need to provide that reassurance today to all of those who provide care to our seniors, and to our seniors, of course, themselves, that we can assure them that they will have access to the doctors whom they prefer and on whom they rely. That is a costly proposition, there's no question. So I certainly am cognizant of the fact that every dollar we spend, that the federal government spends, comes from the pockets of America's workers and very hard-working, hard-pressed taxpayers. 40%, 40 cents of every dollar the federal government spends is borrowed. Those are obligations that are going to accrue to generations who don't necessarily have a direct voice at this table, although through all of us they must have. And these are the contextual thoughts that we bring to mind as we approach the issue of the sustainable growth rate of the Medicare reimbursement consistency. And certainly in the House of Representatives, we passed a 2-year bill that was compassionate and sensible and was also paid for, which is a crucial issue. Unemployment insurance, no question, is something that millions of Americans sadly rely upon, but it points up the fact that we need to have an economy that grows, and we cannot have that growth unless we allow Americans to utilize the resources that they create to save and spend and invest in their own communities. So we need to represent here that respect for our citizens and our taxpayers that has made us such a great and magnificent nation. And of course, the payroll tax holiday is very important to American citizens, which is why we made it a year. But those savings for our taxpayers have to come responsibly from other parts of the budget, because they are not like other general revenues. They are already committed in the Social Security Trust Fund. So it's a privilege and an honor to work together with all of you thoughtfully and carefully and responsibly on lasting solutions to all of these problems that will serve our citizens, about whom we care so much, in the best possible way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Representative Elmers is recognized.